Welcome back, Pokemon Masters. Mikey here, going over my experience at the recent River City Hobbies Pokemon Cup. It was a best of one for 5 rounds, then a top cut. Lots of good players. I'm just going to kind of go over the deck real quick that I use. Not gonna be super in depth on why I played the 60 that I did. Just what 60 cards I did play. So first, I have 4 Comfy, 4 Dialga, or 3 Dialga V, 3 Dialga V Star, 2 Sableye, 1 Ninja, 1 Goose, and 1 Iron Leaves. So as you can already tell, I did not play the Dialga V-Star deck. Was not feeling super confident about it the night before, but I will be using it sometime in the future. I can pinky promise you that. Just wasn't the right meta play. We'll go into that a little bit later. 2 Buddy Buddy, 1 Lost Vacuum, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Pokegear, 4 Nest, 4 Gates, 2 Super Rods, 3 Switch, 1 Switch Cart, Prime Catcher, Temple, and the Artisan. As you can probably tell so far, just a run-of-the-mill, pretty much Lost Zone deck featuring Tina and Iron Leaves, because I knew there was going to be some Charizards there. How many were there? There were 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, I believe. But we'll get into that in just a second here. We got 4 Colress, 2 of the Boss, 2 Roxanne, and 1 Iono. And then last up, we have 4 Grass, 3 Jet, 4 Psych, and 3 Water. So let's talk about my first matchup. My first matchup was against somebody that I've actually seen on stream a couple times. His name is Mr. Yoshi Tate, I believe. Got his signature right there, actually, on this shiny metal card. But he was playing a Dialga V-Star, or not Dialga V-Star, a Palkia V-Star and Goldango deck. Super good deck. Don't really play against it a whole lot. I ended up winning that one. We went to the very end. Unfortunately, Yoshi was not able to draw into any Iridas. The Pokestops weren't hitting. The Make It Rain never happened. I think maybe he took 1 prize to my 6. It was a good game, though. I never play against decks like that, especially with my Lost Zone deck. But it came down pretty much to the wire. It just, the cards weren't falling in their favor this time. But I made sure to get a signature because, like I said, I've seen him on stream multiple times, and he's a really good player. Next up, we have a special match, a Pokemon 24/7 showdown, if you will. It was me versus OG. And can anybody guess what OG was playing? OG was playing good old Arc V-Star featuring our good friend Tina. I honestly thought I had a bad matchup, just because of the energy acceleration coming off of the Arceus V-Star and the V. But we played a pretty solid game. I think we ended with maybe 10 minutes left in the 10 or 5 minutes left in the round. I ended up winning by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I believe OG took either 2 or 3 prizes, but it just got to the point where I had my Tina set up. I was mirage gating any energies I needed. Really solid setup. I very rarely beat OG in free play or tournament play, so it was very meaningful for me in that regard. OG will be coming out with his own league review in a couple days, either tomorrow or the next day. Shoey's should be in on Wednesday. But yeah, me and OG had a good time. Nice dragged out fight. But yeah, so far, starting off the day 2-0. I've seen a Goldango and I've seen a Arctina. So the meta is getting a little interesting. Next up, if I remember correctly, we got the chance to play. Let me get him out real quick so I can show y'all. Get to play against a younger opponent. Never played against them before. Never seen them at River City Hobbies before. But they were going with good old Charizard. Look at that artwork right there, though. Good old Charizard. That was my first loss of the day. That one also came down to the very, very end. I missed a Sableye play. Could have taken 2 prizes at that point, and in the long run would have won me the game. But the cards were flying. I was flower selecting, chorusing. I was just playing too fast for myself at that point and didn't manage my resources properly. I was looking for a boss to boss up the Luminion or something easy to knock out with my Tina V-Star, or my Tina V-Star, because I didn't have any damage multipliers left. I didn't have the Iron Leaves left. So yeah, that was hard. I think the game ended with me having 2 prizes remaining, unable to take any more prizes from Cody, was his name. But he was a newer player. I think he said this is his first year in Masters. Really nice young man. Played our hearts out. At the end of it, we thanked each other. He let me know how close it was. I let him know how frustrating it was to try to manage all those resources and remember what's where's where, who's in the deck, who's in the prizes, what's in the discard, what's in the loss zone. It can be a lot. Next up, we have another Goldango and Palkia, this time being played by Mr. Yoshi Tate's daughter, I believe she was. I cannot pronounce her name. I will not attempt to pronounce it. But they played the Goldango Palkia just like her father. Another really intense matchup. This time I ended up losing. It got to the end and they had their Goldango ready to go. I had my my Tina V-Star in the active, ready to knock out pretty much whatever. But like with the last match, I didn't manage my resources properly, and I believe, an energy short in the attachment to Lost Impact for knockout. Really nice young player, super knowledgeable. I believe Yoshi said that she's been going with him since she was like 9. So it's been a few years, to say the least, that she's been on the circuit with him. But yeah, very nice player, very good player. So if anybody's keeping track, we are at 2-2. For those of you who don't know out there, I have been stuck at a 2-win maximum for every league cup, every league challenge I've been in. I unfortunately have not made that extra step to the 3 wins, the 4 wins, the top cut. So with my mixed results again today, I was feeling a little insecure, not super confident in what was going to happen later on with my final match. And I got the gentleman that I really didn't want to see throughout the entire day. They were running the Miraidon and the baby Miraidon and the Iron Hands and Iron Crown, the Future Hands box, pretty much. That game was a whole lot closer. It got down to them having to take 2 more prizes and myself having to take 4 more. The ending situation was I was searching for a Giratina V-Star to evolve and be able to knock out the active Iron Hands and then survive an attack. Then, after my opponent's next turn, I would be able to knock out another 2-prizer. Game over, as long as they would have whiffed the generators. Unfortunately, that did not happen. I dug. I had 2 V-Stars left in the deck. I kept double checking where are they at here. Are they at the top or the bottom? They're at the bottom every time. Every time he cut my deck, he was able to cut them straight to the bottom. I conceded the last turn of the game because I was not able to take a knockout. I had a Comfy in the active. They had 2 prizes left to take with their Iron Hands. Iron Hands and Comfy don't get along very well. So that's where I was at. So I was like, yeah, let's just see what I would have drawn. And guess who would have been my top deck if I was able to survive 1 more turn? Giratina V-Star. But you win some, you lose some. This particular League Cup was probably one of the hardest I'd ever participated in. Like I said, playing somebody who I've seen on stream multiple times, playing OG, who was always a tough battle, playing against the daughter of somebody who's been in the circuit a very long time, and then playing a variety of different decks. There was Chen Pao there was 4 Charizards, 1 Lost Zone, the Ancient Box. So no matter what path I would have taken, it would have been a challenging path. I ended the tournament at 7th out of 12th. I don't want to spoil too much, but I did perform the best out of the 3 Pokemon 24/7 hosts. I take pride in that. It's a good middle of the pack standing. I was looking at my opponent's win percentage, and it was 57%. That was good enough for 3rd or 4th difficult in the whole tournament. So me ending with 2 wins and 3 losses is disappointing. Don't get me wrong, but there will always be that next challenge, always be that next cup, next challenge, next regional. Just because you don't succeed today doesn't mean you will never succeed again. It's Pokemon. That's why we play the game. We play it to enjoy each other's company. We play it to get a new understanding on some decks that we've seen online, but haven't really played in person super often. So looking forward, it looks like Charizard, even in our smaller league challenge or league cup meta, let's call it, is going to be very prominent. We had Charizard, Masquerada top cut, shout out Cole. We had an Ancient Box. We had Arctina. We had Lost Zone Tina, Chen Pao. Just a lot of good decks by a lot of good pilots. I believe half the half the participants were playing for points to get to Worlds this year. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. Just keep this in mind for next time. I will not lose again. I will win a cup or a challenge by the end of this season, to get me ready for next season, where I plan on participating in some regionals. I'm not quite there yet, but it's just like the opening Pokemon theme song goes. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Peace.